guys. This story is actually titled differently on here, and it's very near and dear to my heart. It's called Diarrheaville, Population U, and it's compiled and prefaced by Daniel Bolta. It all started innocently enough. Candy, good. Sugar, bad. Gummy bears, delicious. I can handle artificially sweetened sugar water, Diet Coke or iced tea, with the pink packets in them. So I figured I could handle a few little diet candy treats. Being that my grandparents were from Europe and had practically raised me on treats from the motherland like strudel, so I'm gonna get better light. I was well aware of the high-quality brand name Haribo, right? That's why when my German Oma introduced me to Haribo sugar-free gummy bears, I never questioned her assessment that they would be the best of all worlds for what I sought. German quality combined with modern technology. I never bothered to research further, or I would have quickly found out that these tasty treats were my Oma's countrymen's latest bid at world domination. That a German Willy Adolf Wanka had his Oompa Loompas soldiers weaponizing their little candy creations. In the words of some of my fellow victims who had the courage to post on the public domain Amazon, people who also bought this also bought toilet paper. These are different things, so I'm going to try different voices for them. Words cannot express what happened to me after eating these. I'm not very good at voices. The Gummy Bear. The Gummy Bear cleanse. For taste, I would rate these a 5. So good. Soft, true to taste fruit flavors like the sugar variety, but, or should I say, but. That's a joke that works on paper really well. Added a T. Not long. Oh wait, back in the voice. Not long after about 20 of these, all hell broke loose. I had a gastrointestinal experience like nothing I'd ever imagined. Cramps, sweating, bloating beyond my worst nightmare. I've had food poisoning from bad shellfish, and that was almost like a skip in the park compared to what was going on inside me. Heavens to Murgatroyd, what came out of me felt like someone tried to funnel Niagara Falls through a coffee straw. I swear, my sphincters were screaming. It felt like my delicate stallfish was a gaping maw projectile vomiting a torrential flood of toxic waste, 100% liquid. Flammable liquid. Napalm. And it went on for hours. That was written by C. Turok on Amazon. Now, while the bears are bad, self-inflicted, their mirth only grows when other younger victims appear. What mediocre parent could deny their child the delight of ripping into a box full of goodies? He grabbed the massive package of candy, held them tight to his chest, and screamed, "Gummies! We know, we knew right then that we had succeeded as parents." The next morning, the nightmare began. I awoke to the aroma of something sickeningly sweet, yet rancid, permeating the entire house. I heard the whimpers of my son, the fruit of my loins, my reason for living, and he knew he had awoken from his slumber, I went into his room to fetch him, and that's when the smell hit me. A sweet, putrid smell that I cannot accurately describe entered my nostrils. I gagged. Then my eyes focused on my son, still laying in bed. His Thomas the Train bed was sprayed with brown poo water. His sheets, his pillow, his Winnie the Pooh, ironic, stuffed animal, his Gymboree pant bottoms, 1999 retail, originally white with images of puppies, were now a light brown with specks of translucent gummy-esque bits. The poo juice had covered my sweet son's hair, streaked across his face. The boy was rushed to the shower. I still, 5 days later, cannot get the smell out of his room. I don't know if perhaps a rogue spray of poo lodged itself into an inaccessible corner of the room, or perhaps one of his toys or stuffed animals is hiding a drop of the potent poo venom. I may never know. That was written by Sandra Oh. While it's bad for children, what if you aren't there yet? What if you're still trying to find that special someone? Sugar-free bears are the way to any woman's heart, right? I'm just going to do my voice on this one. I'm pretty sure Andrea agreed to have dinner only because I always spoke to her using my high school German. Her English was perfect, probably better than mine, but the fact that I could only ask directions to the Autobahn or inquire about her Aunt Amelia seemed to make me appealing to her in a sweet and non-threatening way. My intentions, however, were considerably less childlike, which is why the shopping that night was done at one of those upscale groceries with an international fare. I didn't immediately notice the difference between Haribo normal gummy bears and Haribo sugarless gummy bears, which are designed to use in maximum security prisons. I shan't make that mistake again. Notice you can't spell shan't without shat. Prior to Andrea's arrival, I sat in my living room, nervously binging on the gummy bears I had placed in a decorative bowl. The doorbell rang, and within minutes, we were standing in the kitchen drinking beers. In the middle of trying to ask Andrea if she likes to dance, I felt a flutter in my midsection, accompanied by a guttural pronouncement so loud it threatened to drown out my own voice. It suddenly struck me how much pre-diarrheal grumblings sound like German words. And Entschuldigung, excuse me, uttered my rapidly clenching stomach. Appropriately, Andrea looked up. Sind Sie Kaffee machen? Are you making coffee? The loud, ominous gurgling coming from the gut percolating like some bachelor's crappy coffee maker. It's remarkable how quickly one knows that one is about to have a traumatic potty-making experience. Maybe that's the body's way of buying you the precious seconds you need. I was already calculating the number of steps to the bathroom on whether I would have time to hit the lid of the toilet. Lift the lid of the toilet, I'm sorry. The hallway outside the bathroom works as an amplifier pointed at my living room kitchen. So that somehow even the gentlest tinkle sounds like I'm pouring lemonade out of a bucket. I grabbed Andrea's hand and pulled her roughly down onto my sofa. I must have looked like a madman as I booted up my playlist, plugged in the gigantic new headphones, and clamped them down over her ears. The sweat forming on my brow and upper lip couldn't have helped. In response to her nervous expression, I kept shouting, "You'll love this! You'll love this!" I spun her around so that she was looking out the window. My plan was that she'd be so distracted that would allow me to pull my pants off while I sprinted down the hall, silently singing the praises of the noise-reducing quality of my new headphones. As I slammed the bathroom door shut, already half naked, it occurred to me that I had not been shouting, "You'll love this," at Andrea. In my desperation, I had been saying, "Ich liebe dich," which means "I love you." Repeatedly saying "I love you," professing my love for her in a shaky and frantic voice. As I threw myself at the toilet, I figured she would be so creeped out that she would sneak out of the apartment, blissfully unaware of the carnage taking place in the next room. The ensuing white-knuckle bowel movement can only be described as Kafkaesque. I realized then that I had more than Andrea's sense of sound to worry about. Were she to even get the faintest whiff of the weapons-grade sluice from my anus, I would have to change my name and move to another city. So I flushed, and flushed, and then I flushed, and nothing happened. Then I saw the plunger. Amid the feverish, fruitless dance I did across my tiny bathroom floor, it dawned on me that it had been more than a minute since my last soul-wrenching anal tantrum. Dear Lord, is it over? I asked quite possibly aloud. That's what it says. I may have been lightheaded and delusional, but I began to imagine a non-ignominious resolution to this ordeal. If Andrea hadn't fled the building, vomiting in terror, then I suppose I could pull up my trousers and make a cavalier exit. As long as I could get her off premises and as far away from the post-apocalyptic commode as humanly possible. My first few steps back toward the living room, my sphincters felt raw and tattered. I saw her figure on the sofa, and when she smiled at me, the wash of relief was more glorious than I might have wished for. Then I saw it, the decorative bowl sitting in her lap. Down to just the last few sugarless Gummy Bears. Du hast Haribo! You have Haribo. She said to me, accompanied by a satisfied smile. We both suddenly heard a low rumble from deep within her GI tract. Her eyes shot past mine on the bathroom door behind me. That was written by Farva21. Thank you.